Okay, so we just revisited the balance sheet. Now we're going to revisit owner's equity. Okay, so owner's equity, we're just going to pay attention to the capital drawings and then net income versus net loss. Okay, so this is super, super short. So just to remind you that when we're looking at the owner's equity, that is the money that the owner is building in the company. So it's coming from either money that he is putting into it, or it's coming from money that the company is making that he's reinvesting into the company. Now, what takes away from owner's equity is when he pulls money out of the company personally, or when he's doing a net loss, when his company loses money. So as long as his company makes money, the owner gets to claim more of what's called a dividend, but he's essentially making more money in his own company. So we're just going to focus on this little chunk right here. So we've got the capital, we've got the drawings, and in this case, net income. So his owner's equity is going to go up. So just like we did in the last video, you're going to have 500, you're going to minus off the drawings, and then add in the net income. That will give us our new capital amount. Okay. Now, how we show that as a general journal entry is as follows. So it looks weird, but you just have to memorize. I just need you to memorize the setup. Okay. So you're going to have your two columns. So you're going to do the original owner's equity in the first column. You're going to add in the net income, and then you're going to put the answer to that in the second column. And then you're going to subtract the drawings, and that goes in the second column, and then that gives you out the final capital amount. So it's just first column, second column. Okay. So here's another one. So again, this is capital. This is drawings. This is now a net loss. So again, if we were just doing this on a piece of scrap paper, you would take the capital, minus off the drawings, as well as minus off the net loss, because both of those are working against the company's worth. Okay. How we write it, do the same thing. You do the first column, okay? And then this time, instead of adding the net income, you're going to minus the net loss. And then you put the answer again in the second column. And then the drawings, again, go in the second column for the total. So if you compare this answer, I'm just going to scroll this one down. So notice you start in the first column, you start in the first column. Here they added in the net income and they put the answer in the second column. Here you minused off the net loss, put the answer in the second column. The drawings always goes in the second column. Drawings goes in the second column. And then you always finish by subtracting because it's drawings. We finish by subtracting. Okay, so it's just, this is how we formally write it out. This is just doing the calculation off to the side. But essentially this informal answer and this answer should be the same, right? It's just writing it out formally. Okay, so this assignment, though, is a little bit more tricky. So for this assignment, I've given you a filled-in worksheet. You're going to do three things. You are going to do an income statement. That is what we did last week before Easter. So if you need to go back and look up those notes or look up that video, go back and do that. Then you're going to do a balance sheet. This is what we just learned how to do 5 minutes ago. And then you're going to finish off with what we just learned how to do, the formal way of writing it out. So day 5, has one balance sheet. You're going to do two balance sheets, but it's the same document. Let me just pull it up for you. So on Google Classroom, okay. I don't know if this is still recording or not. I think it is. Oops. So you're going to go to day 5. So the assignment is right here. So if you want to split your computer screen so you can see one compared to the other so you don't have to paper flip. Okay, so there's the assignment. When you open up the balance sheet, you'll see the tabs at the bottom. So you just do the two balance sheets, okay, and just submit this one document to me, okay? For day 6, okay, here's the assignment. So here's the balance sheet, or the big worksheet. You're going to do the 3 things. So the income statement was from last Wednesday before Easter. This was what we just did 5 minutes ago. This is what we just did 3 minutes ago. So 4 things are going to get handed in to me. 1 thing from day 5, 3 things from day 6. Okay? So we've got about 25 minutes still left in class today and all of tomorrow in the lab. Okay? All right, we'll see you down there.